When you think of Mexico, you probably think of scenes like this. But it's also home to some incredible diving destinations. And in 2016, Sunreef guests came here to explore some truly magical places. So sit back and relax. Grab yourself a Corona and a taco, because we're about to serve up some delicious Mexican diving. Sunreef guests were staying along the beautiful Riviera Maya, which is on the Yucatan Peninsula, and was a fantastic place to stay as it gave us great access to dive some of the most awesome cenotes that Mexico has to offer. Well, you may be wondering, what are cenotes? The Yucatan Peninsula is a huge limestone platform where water runs through underground caves. Part of this land has collapsed, creating sinkholes called cenotes, which give access to the unique underground system. Thousands of these windows to the water table dot the Yucatan Peninsula, and hundreds are located only in the areas between Cancun and Tulum, which is the Riviera Maya. So let's go and check it out, amigos. It was only a short drive through the Mexican jungle to the openings of these beautiful cenotes. The first cenotes on our list were part of the gorgeous Chak Mall system. The first room is relatively large, with heaps of light entering from the opening. In the second room, a part of the ceiling has collapsed under an air dome where divers can surface, allowing them to admire the 2 levels of beautiful stalactites. Along the opening of the main entrance, a stunning laser light show takes place. Chak Mall is one of the caverns which has a halocline. This is where salt and freshwater come together, creating an awesome visual effect, and is home to the largest underwater stalactite in the world. With its large rooms and maximum depth of 12 metres, Chak Mall is perfect for any novice cavern diver. Day 2 took us to El Eden. The entrance to this cenote looked like a massive swimming pool, and Jordan had some fun jumping into it as well. This is a fantastic dive for inexperienced cavern divers, as the main room on this cenote is huge, as it stretches down the beautiful Mexican jungle with the gorgeous roots from the trees penetrating through the water, and of course another glorious light show on offer. The second dive we went to on the second day was called Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal attracts underwater photographers from all over the world, and here's why. The hole in this limestone cavern creates an amazing light show that truly has to be seen to be believed. Here's a change of scenery from the jungle to the marina. During the middle of our trip, we had a few nice dives on the local reef, just meters from the hotel. The water temperature was hot, and by hot, I mean 29 degrees. It was like diving in a spa bath. If you were doing your 100th dive, this is where you'd want to do it, and divers will understand why. Turtles are one of my favourite marine animals. I never get tired of watching how gracefully they swim through the water. Here's a hawksbill turtle for you to enjoy. Our divers had lots of fun just swimming around on this beautiful reef. I mean, it doesn't get much better than 29 degree water and a beautiful sunny day in Mexico. With the diving finished, it was time to head to the special diving refueling station. After we caught our dinner, we called it a night, and the next day we were back at it, heading through the beautiful Mexican jungle to another cenote. But before we jumped in the water, we did a little land tour, exploring through the fantastic caves. You're gonna have to excuse my pronunciation on the next one, as I think it's pronounced Dos Ojos, which means two eyes, and originated from two circular-shaped cenotes which are located very close to one another. Dos Ojos, known for its multiple shallow dives, gives divers plenty of bottom time to enjoy the beautifully decorated system. Our divers were treated to some beautiful underwater stalactite and stalagmites. They made their way through this maze of limestone structure. You definitely had to have your wits about you on this dive though, or you would end up like Barbie here, who was getting devoured by a croc. But let's be honest, we've got bigger ones in Australia. During our surface interval, our divers had a great time having a swim in this picturesque location. I never thought I'd say this, but on our next dive, we saw some amazing bats. That's right, bats. There were some awesome domes along this dive, which you could pop up into, and to our amazement, on the ceiling were hundreds and hundreds of bats just below the beautiful Mexican jungle. Check out this entrance. It's home to my favourite dive of the whole trip, the pit, and it's aptly named as it felt like we were journeying to the centre of the earth. Our dive gear even had to be lowered in via this pulley system. Before we journeyed down to the depths below, I had to just sit back and enjoy the absolute tranquility that the entrance to this dive site had to offer. As we started descending down, we went through a small halocline and then the whole dive site opened up. The reason this dive was my favourite is because I saw something that I have never seen before. I didn't even know about. You see that mist? It's called a hydrogen sulfide cloud, and it's at 30 meters, which makes it look like we're on the set of a horror film. Since the 1980s, hundreds of these cenotes have been explored and mapped by divers, and exploration continues to this day. In our case, what goes down must come up, and that pulley system came in very handy at the end of the dive to bring our tanks back to the surface. Here's something you don't get to do every day, a dive through the mangroves. We took a journey along a river system at Casa Cenote. This river system connects one of the longest underwater cave systems in the world with the ocean. It is one of few surface rivers on the Yucatan Peninsula. This dive was no more than 8 meters deep. And due to the connection with the ocean, fresh and saltwater fish live here. On our last day of cenote diving, we started up with a cheery visit to a dive site called the Temple of Doom. The Temple of Doom also had a hydrogen sulfide cloud, giving it the same spooky effect as the pit. Our divers jumped into the water, eager to see what awaited us on our final dive. This dive site is called Yucatan Peninsular, better known as Car Wash. There were underwater lilies growing everywhere. It looked like a fairy tale. In my opinion, this cavern entrance would have to be the most spectacular. This dive location is another favourite for underwater photographers, as the trees and branches from the jungle above and the beautiful light behind them creates an amazing visual effect. Our last day in Mexico was a day that I will never forget. Do you see that fin? Just meters from the boat? That's only the tip of the iceberg. As we jumped into the water, there was over 60 whale sharks. That's right, 60 whale sharks. It's impressive to see a group of 60 fish together, yet alone huge whale sharks. Mexico is definitely a hotspot for whale sharks. In fact, during their peak season, they can get over 200 whale sharks in the same area at the same time. And our guests were able to get up close and personal with these majestic creatures of the ocean. We even got to see them feeding. The whale shark swim is perfect for non-scuba divers as it's a snorkeling trip. As if 60 whale sharks wasn't enough, we also had a sneaky visit from this manta ray. As we waved goodbye, we headed to a nearby beach and we jumped in with our Coronas, ate our Mexican food, and swam with the Chihuahua, only in Mexico. Sunreef stayed at the beautiful Catalonia resort, and as part of our trip to Mexico, drinks were included in the cost. So keep them coming, Amato. We also chilled by the pool, ate at the beautiful restaurants on offer, and worked on our tans on the picturesque beaches of Mexico. But if you wanted something more exciting, just add foam. I thought I knew how to party, but check out this little Mexican dude. He's going off. The resort offered heaps of free activities, including dance competitions, and the judges had their work cut out for them as the competition was fierce. Picking a winner was going to be difficult. To ensure our guests have great diving experiences, we partnered with great local dive operators. Dive Aventuras ensured our dives were seamless and smooth. Mexico is a truly amazing destination, and as far as I'm concerned, a must-do on everyone's bucket list. This country has so much to offer, not only for scuba divers, but non-divers as well. It is a country rich with history and culture, and the footage you have just seen is only a fraction of what's on offer. So, if you want to go on an exotic diving or snorkeling holiday like this one, get in contact with us and immerse yourself in a Sunreef adventure